everybody, Chad Horrible Modeler here, and to sum up the past 2.5 weeks of work on this Defiant, Horrible really doesn't even begin to touch it. It's been more like a nightmare. If you thought putting together a kit that has bad seam lines and bad tooling is rough enough the first time, try doing that, tearing it apart, stripping it all down, and then starting over again. It has been crazy. I think the last time where I left you, it was still in two pieces, and I was getting ready to got all the lighting finished up and was getting ready to put it together. I wish I would have made some videos about what I did and stuff, but I've learned a lot, and I got some things to show you guys and teach you. First, if you want to take a look at the Defiant, here we are after about 2.5 weeks worth of work. I've got another primer coat on it, which is going to be my base color anyway. I'm not going to go with a white. I'm going with a gray. And this is probably full primer coat number 2. This is going to be wet sanded again, smooth, and reapplied. But along all of the edges, probably at least 10 applications of putty and primer. It's no joke. I worked. It probably took me a couple hours just to try to fit it together as well as I could and get it glued together. But there was just nothing I could do but just have to really go hard on all the seam lines. In a couple spots, with the Don's Light and Magic parts, paint this down a little bit, that fit right, they come all the way up into here. Basically, really, it was hard for me to just try to get all that filled in. So what I did is ended up just kind of making some covers right there, and strip styrene, putty, and all that stuff. So I don't know. I mean, it's all ready to go almost. I just got, like I said, a couple more applications of primer and a lot of sanding. I might have to put putty in a few more areas, but we'll see. In the meantime, though, I definitely want to show you guys some things that I've learned, and some products that I've used that have really helped everything. We'll start with primer. The Duplicolor, definitely the go-to primer for me from now on. This thing goes on smooth. This thing fills up tiny crevices, scratches, some gaps, and this stuff sands great. I tried using the Tamiya primer. Now it goes on smooth after I thought I had a bad can, but basically what I ended up having to do was soak it in warm water for about 5 minutes before using it, and give it a good old shake and stuff, and now it sprays perfectly fine and goes on smooth every time. So, but it just does not have the gap and seam and crack filling properties that this automotive stuff does. While we're on automotive stuff, anybody who's not using 3M glazing putty, you just really have to. There's just no way around it. I have tried numerous types. I've used every putty that I have on this build to try to make it go easy. I've used Mr. Surfacer. I've used the Perfect Plastic. I've used Squadron. I've used Thin Down Squadron. Nothing worked as well as this and sheet styrene. Just cutting the styrene into pieces to fill up the gaps, melding it in with the Tamiya extra thin glue or whatever, coming through, shaving it off, putting it, sanding, over and over and over. So that's pretty much all I got to say about that. If I would have started off using the Bondo in the first place, I probably wouldn't have had to put in so much work. But I tried to I don't know. I just wanted to try a bunch of different things to see if I could get any quick, fast results, and nothing did as good as the Bondo did. Except in some spots, the epoxy sculpt. You know, this stuff is great because you can stretch out little pieces of it and stuff it in where you need to, um, and then you can use their safety solvent and some Q-tips and smoothing out real nice, to the point where you don't even really have to sand it. But I usually put this stuff in places that I know I can't get to with this stuff, no matter what kind of files I'm using or what. So that works out really good. Um, the other thing that I caught on to finally, I've seen it in so many videos, but I just never really never understood how to use it, is using actual silly putty as masks. The silly putty just will conform to about everything. You can really make great straight lines with it too. I mean, you can put it where you need to go and then just come with like a ruler or a straight edge and just kind of chop it and pull it away. I mean, this stuff for masking is pretty much unbelievable. I tried using, I don't know where it's at, but I tried using some latex masking stuff that I got at Hobby Lobby. I used some of the microscale masking fluid, but it just takes too long to dry, and it just kind of makes you nervous when you're spraying over it. When you're trying to like mask off like little holes and individual lights, it's just scary. So the other thing, some people are using this stuff. Some people have seen it probably on Steve Neal and Simon Merck's videos and stuff, but I bought some of it and I've used it quite a bit, and it's pretty much going to be my go-to glue. And what it is the Satellite City glues. It comes in 3 different formulations. You have the real thin hot stuff, which bonds almost instantly. You have the medium, slightly thicker stuff that has a longer curing time, and then you have the really thick stuff with the thick CA for gap filling and everything. And basically, if you have really good edges, they sell just these plastic cards. You can dump some of this stuff in there, scrape it off with the card, and then hit it with their accelerator, and you pretty much end up having a smooth seam that is completely filled, and you have to put hardly any sanding into. Obviously, it's CA, it's tough, it doesn't sand as good as the Bondo or something might, so you really have to go at it and be careful where you put it, because you could end up hogging away a lot of plastic if it's in the wrong spot. But they're just a really well thought out company, this Satellite City. I just got another order of stuff in today. They sell replacement caps and tubes, for their bottles, because this stuff does, harden up in there, and you end up chopping the tip down and down and down and down until you have nothing left. Those things are just great. I've got a lot of different glues and stuff that I can't use anymore. Some Gorilla Glues and stuff like that, because they don't sell anything like that. They sell these little pro tips that actually go right onto the nozzle here, so that way you can get in there even closer. So, and you got a lot of room to go there as far as just cutting away. So they sell that stuff. It's great. I just can't say any more good stuff about them. They also sell these poly gloves that CA doesn't stick to. It's pretty crazy. I love them. So other than that, that's pretty much it. I'd really like to get the Defiant to a point where the whole outside body is finished. I'd like to get that there this weekend and get to doing some I'm going to be doing some pre-shading in the panels and stuff, and I want to print out the decals, because I'm not painting the panels, because I don't want to go through masking it and because there's a lot of complex shapes and stuff you have to paint over, and multiple layers of paint that you have to mask over. And I tried that before, and even though my paint prep and my techniques are way more advanced than they were now, I just don't want to, well, just don't want to chance it. I'm going to go with the pre-printed the decals you can print off of Starship Modeler. So I'm going to print those out and study those and see how they go onto the ship. And then along with those, I'm going to do a lot of pre-shading in certain spots, and then pre-shading, into the different panels where they're going to go. Luckily, I still have quite a bit of the raised detail on here, where the outlines, where the panels go, but it's slowly fading away. But with pre-shading around every one of those, it'll be pretty good. And then I can come in and kind of post shade around the edges and stuff of the decals and create kind of a really cool modeling effect, because the Defiant saw a lot of work. It was, I mean, hell, it was blown apart, and everything a bunch of times actually. But the first time in DS9, it was disabled and then resalvaged and such, and then of course it was destroyed in First Contact. But I really, the other thing is the fit in the front here was pretty bad. So I basically had to go in there with sheet styrene and kind of make my own deal. It's kind of crude right now. I need to work on it a little bit more. But it's all sealed off and light blocked and everything now. So, like I said, it's been a lot of work, a lot of construction. I would say from the start, if you're a fan of this ship, definitely go for it, because that's about the only way that you're going to want to put the work into it, is if you're a big fan of the ship, which it is my favorite. It always has been. I've been rewatching DS9 just to get caught up on. I haven't seen it, in years, so I wanted to, kind of get in the mood to work on it and stuff, and that's what I've been doing with that. But if you have not been modeling for a while, just don't even waste your time buying the kit, is my advice, because it really will try your patience, and it's not easy to work on some of those seam spots. It's not like they're all right here for you just to go to town on. I mean, they're not all right there. They're here, they're here, they're here, they're here. They're all in different steps and stages. And then if you want to do mods like I did with the impulse engines, and then fitting the headpieces together and everything else. So it's a pretty much a nightmare kit. But I'm happy it's coming together. It will come together, and everything will be all good. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope I'm teaching you guys a little bit like everybody has taught me, and we'll see you guys on the next video.